Hey, welcome. So today we're going to tackle a term you've probably heard a million times, data science. What is it really? Well, you can think of it as the art of finding a meaningful signal in a whole sea of noise. Let's dive in.
Let's start with a number. Just look at it. 2.5 quintillion. I mean, that's a 25 with 17 zeros after it. It's one of those numbers that's so ridiculously big, your brain can't even really picture it. So what on earth does it represent?
That right there is how much data we as a planet are creating every single day. And you know, with the rise of the Internet of Things, or IoT, that number is just exploding. I mean, every click you make, every Google search, every show you stream, it all feeds into this gigantic digital tidal wave.
And that, right there, is the million-dollar question. All this data, these quintillions of bytes, what is it trying to tell us? Because if it's just noise, it's pretty much useless. But buried deep inside are these incredible patterns and stories that can literally change the world. To get how we find them, we kind of need to see how we got here in the first place.
Okay, so let's talk about the data deluge. It's this absolute flood of information that has grown just unbelievably fast in a really short amount of time.
What's so wild about this is just the insane scale of the jump. I mean, think about it. We went from floppy disks that could hold a few kilobytes to hard disks with gigabytes. Then the cloud showed up, and suddenly we're talking about petabytes. And now with the Internet of Things, we're in the age of zettabytes. To put that into perspective, a single zettabyte is enough storage for like 30 billion 4K movies. It's an almost unimaginable leap in just a couple of decades.
And this data isn't being generated in some far-off science lab. Nope, it's coming from you. From us. It's your smart TV, your car, your social media feed, your late-night Google searches, your Netflix history. I mean, pretty much every single interaction we have with technology is adding to this data deluge every minute of every day.
So we have this massive ocean of data. How in the world do we navigate it? How do we find the valuable treasure that's buried deep down? Well, that treasure is called insights. And the map to that treasure? That's data science.
At its heart, data science is really the art of discovery. It's all about sifting through these huge, often messy, sets of data to find those hidden insights and patterns. You know, the signal and the noise. And those are the things that can lead to way smarter business decisions and a much deeper understanding of the world around us.
You know, this quote just nails it. The data itself is just raw potential. The real power comes from knowing how to handle it, how to ask the right questions, and how to pull out the information that actually matters.
Okay. All of this might still feel a little bit abstract, so let's make it concrete. We're going to look at some real-world examples that show just how much data science is shaping your world, often in ways you would never, ever expect.
Okay, this is a classic, and it's one of my favorite examples of data science in action. A data analyst at Walmart was just digging through mountains of sales data and found something, well, strange. Right before a hurricane was about to hit, sales of strawberry Pop-Tarts just shot through the roof. The big question is, why? So how did Walmart turn that weird little fact into a genius strategy? Well, they followed the data. First, they analyzed all their sales history against weather events to make sure the pattern was real. Then, they came up with a hypothesis. When a storm is coming, people stock up on non-perishable comfort foods. It's about predictable comfort in a very unpredictable time. And the final step? They created an actionable insight. They started moving Pop-Tarts and other similar stuff to prime spots right near the checkout lanes before a storm. And guess what? Sales jumped even higher. That right there is data science, from data to insight to action.
And look, this isn't just about Pop-Tarts. The very same logic is what powers Netflix's recommendation engine. By analyzing the viewing habits of millions of people, Netflix can make a pretty darn good guess about what you'll want to watch next. And they don't just track what you watch, but how you watch it. When you pause, what scenes you rewatch, what shows you give up on. It's all just data, and it's all designed to keep you glued to the screen. So, who are these masterminds behind all these incredible insights? Let's take a look at the detectives of our digital age and the tools they're using to crack the case.
A data scientist is basically a data detective. When they're faced with a tough question, they don't just grab the easy answer. They investigate. They follow leads, they hunt for hidden patterns, and they piece together clues from the data to build a case and ultimately solve the mystery.
And one of the most powerful tools in their entire toolkit is machine learning. These are algorithms that aren't just programmed with a fixed set of rules. Instead, they actually learn from data to identify patterns and make predictions all on their own. It's a total game changer for data science.
Now, machine learning basically breaks down into two main types. Over on the left, you've got supervised learning. Think of this like learning with a detailed answer key. You feed an algorithm a bunch of labeled data, say 1,000 pictures of cats, all labeled cat, and it learns how to identify cats in new pictures. That's the tech behind facial recognition. Then on the right, you've got unsupervised learning. This is more like being given a giant messy pile of data with no labels and being told, go find something interesting. The algorithm has to discover the hidden structures all by itself. This is what's used for things like customer segmentation.
So, to be a really great data detective, you need a pretty diverse set of skills. It all starts with a solid foundation in math and statistics. Then there's programming. Using languages like Python to tell a computer to sift through millions of rows of data way faster than any human ever could. A huge, and I mean huge part of the job is something called data wrangling, which is basically just cleaning up messy, inconsistent information. But where the real magic happens is with the human skills, the critical thinking to ask the right questions, and that sharp attention to detail you need to spot the one tiny pattern that cracks the whole case wide open.
Okay, so we've explored what data science is, we've looked at how it works, but now let's just step back and ask the most important question of all. Why does this matter? Why is this field so important right now?
Ultimately, it's pretty simple. Data science is the bridge that connects a world that is drowning in raw data to a world that can actually use that data to make better decisions. It's about creating smarter businesses, more efficient systems, and frankly, more personalized and better experiences for all of us.
So let's just do a super quick recap. We started with the data deluge, this insane amount of information we create every day. Then we looked at how data science is the key to finding meaning in all that noise. We saw how it's already shaping everything from what's on our store shelves to what's in our movie queue. And we learned that at its very core, data science is about being a detective and using patterns to solve really complex problems.
And that really brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. We now have these incredibly powerful tools to answer amazingly complex questions. But the power of data science isn't just in the answers it gives us. It's in the questions we dare to ask. As we move forward in this data-driven world, the real challenge isn't just about finding the right answers, it's about making sure we're asking the right questions in the first place. Thanks for listening.